So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you, wherever in the world it is that you're tuning in from. Welcome to this webinar with our friends at WyreStorm. I'm going to give it a couple of minutes just so you can all shuffle in and take your virtual seats, and then we'll get started shortly. While we're waiting, please feel free to drop us a message in the chat. Let us know who you are, where you're calling in from, and we will, yeah, as I say, we'll get started shortly. Nobody's sending messages in the chat. Come on, guys. Need to know where you are. I see people are sending it into the Q&A section. Chat seems to be disabled. Okay. So we do have someone in the background, my colleague Gabby, working on that for us. So if we could, yeah, have a look at that. But in the meantime, hello to Miguel in Madrid, in Spain. Yeah, we've got quite a fair few people in the room now, so we'll give it another 30 seconds and then we'll get going. I've got Daniel in Houston, Texas, up early. That is commitment. Well done. We appreciate it. And Antonio as well. Hi, morning, afternoon, evening. South Africa as well. Fantastic. Well, we're crossing the globe at the moment. That's amazing. So yeah, keep your eye on the chat. Hopefully we can rectify that issue. And yeah, as the webinar goes on. But to start with, I just want to say, yeah, a huge thank you to everyone for attending. My name's Ben Barnard. I'm the Regional Manager for AVIXA UK and Ireland. And I just want to welcome you to this webinar today, how to create efficient environments with AV technology, presented by Zek, who you can see here, and our friends at WyreStorm. This webinar is, of course, brought to you today by our sponsors, WyreStorm, and we're really excited to have them with us. Just before we get going, I have a couple of housekeeping items. So for those of you viewing live today, this webinar qualifies for a CTS, CTSD and CTS IRU credit. Please allow 5 to 7 business days for it to appear on your transcripts. And for any issues you may have, you can email webinars@avixa.org. The webinar today will be approximately 45 to 60 minutes, and all attendees will be placed on mute. But during the presentation, if you do have any questions, please put them into the Q&A window so that we can filter through them. And then at the end, when we get to the Q&A section, I can present them to Zek and we can have a discussion over those questions. Usually I would say make sure you put them in the Q&A section and not the chat. Obviously we're having a couple of issues with the chat there, so hopefully that will get rectified, and it looks like it has been. So fantastic. So the chat's there. We'll that'll be there for you to use. But if you have any questions, yeah, please put them in the Q&A box and we will get to them towards the end of the session. That's it from me. I'm going to disappear until the Q&A section starts. And with that, I'm going to hand over to Zek from WyreStorm.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you. Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to see you all here today with me on today's webinar. So my name is Zach, as Ben mentioned. I'm a product specialist at WyreStorm. And today I'm going to talk about technology that can help you in creating an efficient environment and to see how we can please our clients for these meeting rooms. I assume you all heard about unified communication and when it comes to a meeting room. However, I want to start today's session with a question. What is a unified communication? We all know the benefits of conferencing, and it's now more accessible than ever before, right? So all the devices are, even our phones today, are able to do conferencing. However, with so many new digital collaboration tools that covers both the software and also a hardware, working out a system that will suit the best for the company to unify all these communication is really a hard task, even for most experienced AV or IT professionals. So if you ask me, I would say a unified communications is a device that unify all these different platforms, different software and hardware into one box and help you in integrating the system. So before we jump into those solutions, I want briefly to talk about what hybrid technology necessities are. So today, hybrid technology necessities are really, really high. So let's go over a few most important one. And let's start with connecting people. So connecting people from all around the world is something that is really crucial. As technology continues to evolve, we have entered into an era where work is no longer refined to a specific desk or a phone or even a computer screen, right? So it's really important to connect all these people around the globe, especially now with home offices. Screen sharing and annotation, it adds entirely new element to online meetings, right? Right, so instead of emailing over a copy of the PowerPoint or dropping a file into web client and hoping that everybody will open that file and follow up, this will provide you to share your content, to present and to control your presentation from your own desktop with the screen sharing. Next, then we have accessibility and ease of use. So providing a consistent cross-platform for end-user experience, where everyone is using the same application on their desktop, laptop, mobile device. So now we want to be able to, any user that use its own hardware can share and do the presentation. So now all these ad hoc meetings are never a problem with you if you have a right technology. Availability and cost effectiveness. Today, there are so many different services, so business may spend a lot of money on these different conferencing services, right? Deploying a single platform is really important because you can cut a lot of cost for a company. And for premium speakerphones, I think this is the most important aspect of online meeting, right? I think it's very important that the people from other side can be heard, that everybody in the room can hear them, and also that when you speak, you also don't have to shout, and the microphones are properly installed and proper quality. Flexible video switcher. Today, I believe HDMI and USB-C are the most important two inputs that you will need for your meeting room. So USB-C is getting more popular now these days, but you need to have also a HDMI if the client or a guy who is using a meeting room is having a laptop that is not high-end or it's less equipped. For those who doesn't have any connectivity ports, there are BOID or bring your own device wireless casting option. So I think you need to provide the user a possibility to cast his presentation from a phone, from a tablet, from any, even from Windows PC. So he can do it remotely. And these, you will see later on, the USB dongles are getting more and more popular. And we'll see later why. And at the end, a unification hub. So unification of audio, video, and USB peripherals are providing a really unique experience, because now with the USB-C, you just need one cable that will provide a video pass-through and also access to built-in speakerphone of the hub, right? So with this single box, only one cable is enough to share your content and use the meeting room properly. So I believe these are the most important necessities of today's technology when it comes to unified communication. And if you want to build really modern and efficient environment for meeting room, you need to look on all these aspects. And this is why I would like to present you today our WyreStorm Apollo solution. So most of these requirements can be achieved with our Apollo solution. And the Apollo's goal is to offer a premium meeting room space solution that typically would consist of 2 or more separate products, but now you have everything in one. So every Apollo model provides 2 functions. The first is method to send a video to a display, and the second one is to provide a conferencing speakerphone. There are 4 types of Apollo series. First, I want to show you these 3 because these 3 are sharing same exterior design, but with a different functionality between them. The 4th model which remains the same functionalities. However, it's in a video bar format, and it also has an integrated camera in the middle, and we'll cover that later on. So right now, I would like to start with some basic explanation of the Apollo as a solution. This is the most basic Apollo, so the first in the line. It's APO 100 UC. This unit features a single USB-C input. And this input supports what is called alt mode, meaning a single cable supports a video pass-through from a connected computer, but also provides a data communication to Apollo built-in speakerphone. And what that means is that when a USB-C equipped laptop connects to a APO 100, that's all that is necessary. So content will be sent to a display connected to the HDMI output of this box, and you will be able to use the speakerphone for your online meetings. The USB-C input also supports a technology called a DisplayPort, which allows a standard USB 3 Type A port to act as a video output in a computer. So when you buy this box, we get the USB-C cable inside the box. The USB-C will come with the adapter that you will put on the top of the USB-C. And then you can use this as an additional connector. So when user comes to a meeting room and it doesn't have a USB-C port, you can just convert that USB-C port to USB Type A, and because it's a display link, you will be able to, that laptop will share the content. It will recognize the display link, and you will be able to send the video to the output. Just keep in mind that some laptops will require some additional driver to be installed, and also a video output for display link is restricted to 1080p resolution. That's the maximum resolution that it can support. Every Apollo features the same microphone and speaker specification. And what this consists is a 360-degree microarray, which also have an echo cancellation, automatic gain control, and the speakerphone power is 10 watts. It's really powerful. The maximum microphone pickup distance is about 7 meters. And on the top of Apollo, you'll see there are different buttons. These are the capacitive touch buttons. On the bottom, you see there is a volume control and mute toggle. And on the top, you'll see a strange icon. This is the video mute button, which allows the user to stop video being transmitted to a display temporarily. And when you will use this is basically when you want to mute your output, when you want to log into some website, or you just want to hide your for security reason, you want to hide your content for a few minutes. Then I will jump now to more advanced Apollo units. This is Apollo 200 and Apollo 210. The Apollo 200, 210 includes a number of additional connectivity options. There is a USB-C like we saw in Apollo 100. However, there is also additional HDMI input connector. So the USB-C and the HDMI input are using auto switching, and it's based on first in, last out. So whoever plugs the unit, the content will be automatically shared on the screen. On the video output side, the Apollo 200 includes a single a single HDMI output, and 210 comes with additional HD-Base-T output, which can support up to 35-meter transmission distance. And in fact, this HD-Base-T output is the only functional difference between 200 and 210. And all other features are identical. Also, like Apollo 100, a USB 3 peripheral port is available for connecting external USB devices such as a USB camera or any additional USB to host connection for your bring your ID device. A LAN connector is also available, and you can connect your Apollo unit to the network, so you can access to its web interface. And also you can do some configuration, customization, all those kind of things. The 200, 210 also feature advanced functionalities that includes a wireless casting and dual view as well. So now natively you can wirelessly casting from your iPhone, Apple devices with AirPlay, or if you have Android devices or Windows computer, there is an option for a mirrorcast. Dual view allows two separate inputs to be visible on the screen at the same time, and you can combine. You can show whether it's a wireless casting source or it's a cable connected device. You can just show any combination into in the dual split screen mode. When it comes to buttons on the top, the capacitive buttons, you can see on the left there are two additional buttons on the left and the right. So on the left, it's a switching button, so you can switch the input if it's not in the auto switching mode. So you can choose auto switching, or you will stick it to HDMI or USB-C. And on the right side, you can choose whether to show full screen or dual screen, split screen mode. So this is the Apollo 200 and 210 option. Next, I want to show you the video bar. That's the fourth version of Apollo. As we talked about, there is a video bar format. And the first thing that you'll notice is the form factor, right? Rather than being designed to sit in the middle of the conference room table, this VX20 is meant to be wall mounted. So you can put it under the display or above the display. The VX20 features a 4 microphone array, so which includes echo cancellation, automatic gain control, and automatic noise suppression as well. And also there are 2 stereo 8-watt speakerphones that are built in the unit itself. The integrated camera in the middle is supporting a really high wide angle of 120 degrees. And also the camera resolution is 4K 30 Hertz or 1080p 60 Hertz. You can change that in the configuration web UI. Advanced camera functionality will provide you with electronical PTZ, which can go up to 5 times zoom. And there are abilities to perform 2 tracking modes. So there are 2 tracking modes, and first one is that it will track based on motion detection. So it will follow up the presenter when he's walking in the room. And the second mode is speaker tracking. And this is based on audio detection. It will follow and zoom in if someone is speaking. So you can also change these two modes in the configuration of the unit itself. In addition to the video bar itself, we also have some accessories that can be used with a VX20. The first one is on the right side, you can see it's an APO-COM mic. And this is a USB microphone that you can connect to extend a pickup range of the microphone, right? Because we will put this unit on the top or below the display. And sometimes we have a long meeting room, so we want to extend the mic pickup range. You can cascade these microphones, and you can connect up to 3 microphones in line. And if you want to, sometimes you want to pull the cables through wall, through ceiling. That's why we have this APO mic extender cable. It's basically a USB to Ethernet extender. It can go up to 60 meters. It's designed to just extend this microphone connection. Then I want to show you also some quickly some small Apollo-like devices like this one. This is a Halo VX10. It's basically a similar design. However, this is just a mini all-in-one video bar. So it comes with 4 microphones, 2 3-watt speaker phones, and the 4K camera in the middle. So once you connect your computer to it, you will just be able to use this all this package in one. So this unit doesn't have a HDMI output or any output. It's just you connect your USB-C and you use all the features on your computer. Here, I want to show you a few cameras that we have. On the left side, we have a camera 200 PTZ. On the right side, we have camera focus 200. The left camera is PTZ camera, physical PTZ, so you can move it. And it's supporting only 1080p resolution. On the right side, it's a 4K camera. You can't move it, but it has electronical PTZ because of the big, really good resolution of 4K. There is a room to make a software PTZ, so you can zoom, you can move, and follow do the auto framing. And the last asset I want to show you is our Apollo DG1. This is a USB-C dongle, and it's designed to provide a simple way for sharing content from a PC. So when the user comes to the room, he just take that dongle, plug it to the PC, press a button, and he'll start sharing the content. It's supported on Apollo 200, 210 and the video bar. And also it's supported on some of our presentation switches, which we will cover later on, the SW540 and SW220. The video is going up to 1080p 30 Hertz, and it's sending only video. You can't get back any information. So this is just for sharing the content wirelessly. Now, once we covered some of the hardwares and some of the assets that we have, let's see how we can use them in real life. So I'll start with a really basic and simple huddle space wiring diagram. So you can see here that on the left side, we have a USB-C laptop connecting to Apollo 100. So basically, once we connect it, we will do a video pass-through, and the data communication will happen as well, because we want to use this camera Focus 200, and I also want to use a built-in speakerphones. So it's really simple and easy to use. User comes to it, plug it. You can also see here there is a USB type A connector. So now I can, if somebody comes to a room and connects that, it doesn't have a USB-C, he can connect that, and the display link will recognize it and send the content to a display. Now we have a more advanced diagram. You can see this diagram is like for standard conferencing room. We have two displays on the output. On the left side, you can see we have a different type of content sharing. So there is a wired and wireless option. You can see with the laptop that doesn't support USB-C, and if we connect a HDMI, there is additional secondary USB cable that needs to be connected. And this secondary cable is required if the HDMI laptop needs to connect to Apollo speakerphone. So if you don't want just to share a content, you also want to use a connected camera and the speakerphone. Also, you can see that on the right side, we have two outputs, and this is achieved with Apollo 210 because Apollo 210 has additional mirror HD-based-T, and because it's HD-based-T, we need to convert it back to HDMI. So that's why we are using the receiver on the top. Camera can be connected directly to Apollo with USB 3.0, or if the distance is too big, then you can use the USB 2.0 to connect directly to receiver. Now, these are the standard meeting rooms. Now I want to show you how you can see some scenarios where the room PC may be a part of design. These are the Zoom room PCs. In this scenario, you can't bring your own device. So this is a meeting hosted on Zoom Room PC, and you just come to a room, start a meeting, and start using the room. So on the left side, Zoom Room PC is basically connected to Apollo directly, and then Apollo will provide the Zoom Room PC with the speakerphone, with the camera, and the Zoom Room PC will provide the video pass through to the screens on the right side. The second option where we have a Zoom Room PC is that the option where we want that user comes to a room and use its own device. So to start, let's focus on a room PC and see where is the positioned now. You can see now that the Zoom Room PC is located on the output side of Apollo system. And this is because from the Zoom Room PC, we go directly to display with HDMI. So we are sending the content directly to display. However, you can see that the PC, mini PC, is connected with the USB 2.0 directly to Apollo. This is because we still want to use the speakerphone that is built in inside Apollo. If now somebody comes to a room, he wants to share his screen. How he will do this is he will use HDMI or USB-C and connect for video pass-through. Video will go inside Apollo, and then it will go to Zoom certified capture card. This is a capture card that will recognize this source and send it to a Zoom Room PC. What is really important in this situation is to not forget that the speakerphones are not used by this device, the laptop. It's used by Zoom Room PC. That's why there is additional configuration that we built in Apollo that we prevent the USB-C for taking over the USB peripherals. So that USB 2.0 is only communication through USB that will happen here. Now let's move to some suggestions of solution for small spaces. Here, you remember I talked to you about Halo VX10. That's a small video bar. And here you can see how easily you can use a small room, which are up between 3 to 5 people. So if you have a screen that is close to your table, it's really easy to just connect your laptop to the HDMI, use a USB-C to connect your speakerphone and camera with VX10, and you can see the pickup range with microphone is here in the gray area, and the camera pickup the angle of view is 120 degrees, so everybody will be seen very well. Now, if we move to more to large spaces or medium spaces for let's say 8+ people, you can see that here a display may be further away from a conferencing table. And if you need even up to 35 meter, you can go with HDBaseT using Apollo 210, or you can use any of our optical HDMI cable. We also provide optical HDMI cables. All the connectivities should be available there, like wireless casting, dongle casting, or even with the cable. You need also to provide such a sharing content functionality. And we can see here how the pickup range for microphone is showing up. On the left side, you can see Apollo VX20. You can see that the Apollo is on the TV side, so pickup range is not so good in comparison to this table. That's why we want to extend the microphones so we can cover every seat in a meeting room. On the right side, you can see the if we put Apollo on the top of the table, or in the middle of the table, it will cover the whole desk, and basically you will be able to provide a microphone range to every attendee. So this was our Apollo solution. You saw how easily you can provide with a single box all the features that we talked about, and you can really unify all the communication that's available in today's meeting spaces. Now, I would like to show you also some of our presentation devices. The first presentation device is that I want to show you is the SW540. This is basically a 4x2 matrix. So you will have 4 inputs and 2 outputs. The inputs are different. So we have a VGA, we have a 2 HDMI and USB-C. So you are ready, whoever comes to a meeting room, whatever laptop he has, you will be ready for him. Also, additionally, this device can do a wireless casting. So if somebody comes with a laptop, with a tablet or iPhone or even Android phone, AirPlay or Mirrorcast are supported. So without cable, you can also share content. The dongle DG1 that I was showing you before is also supported on this device. So you can pair the dongle with this device, and you can also share wirelessly the screen. When it comes to output side, this unit supports a quad view. So you can show sources separately, a full screen on both outputs independently. Or on the output 1, there is a quad view mode. So you can show up to four different sources at the same time. It doesn't matter what kind of sources are there. Are they wireless or HDMI? It doesn't matter. And the last is that this device supports a USB host. What that means is that you can connect, you can see on the left side the USB type A. You can see that here I can connect any USB peripheral like keyboard, mouse, camera. And then if somebody comes to a room and connects his HDMI, above of that HDMI, there is a USB host port. So he connects to that port, he connects the HDMI. Once he switched to his input, he will be able to use all the USB devices connected on the left side on the type A. So it's really powerful, really all-in-one device that can be used in today's meeting room. There is also a smaller version of this. This is basically a 2x1 switch. There is one HDMI and one USB-C port with one HDMI output port. And also this unit supports wireless casting, AirPlay and Mirrorcast. It supports only a dual screen, so you can show 2 sources at the same time. And there are 2 USB 3.0 ports, and these two ports are tied with USB-C connector on the left side. So these are the presentation switches. We have many more. However, I can't cover all of them, but these are the two most popular. I think with these two, you can cover most of the applications in today's requirements. And at the end, I also want to briefly go over our AV over IP solution. So we have provided the AV over IP in all aspects because we are covering 3 different AV over IP technology. That's why we are calling them a power of 3, because we have a 100-200 series that is based on technology of H.264. We also have a 400-500 series that is based on JPEG 2000 for 4K low latency requirements. And then we have a top of the range, which is a 600 series, which is a 4K zero latency high of the end. However, this is a 1080p solution. I'll just briefly go over of these each of these technologies so you can see what you can achieve and when you to use of these technologies, different technology, when to use the right one. So with the 100 series, it's a 110 series, is basically when you need a 1080p solution with the low bandwidth. It's basically a H.264 compression, and it goes only up to 30 megabytes per second. There are 2 different processing modes, so you can choose either to have a low latency, but the quality will not be good, or to have a high quality, however, the latency will be up to 250 milliseconds. It depends once you want to share. PoE is available, all the control ports are there. So we got you covered if you have if you need IR, RS-232, CC, even USB for KVM applications, and the HID only are available. All these signals are totally independent. So you can totally independent route RS-232 from one transmitter to many receivers, or you can send the IR from, you can create your paths, everything independently using intuitive API commands. Also on the receiver and the transmitter, we have audio de-embedded. So analog audio is there for de-embedding the audio and feeding your amplifiers. Video wall processing is also available. You can go up to 16 by 16 video wall, supporting a mosaic style configuration. And also multi-view is possible. So you can show with this device, with special receiver, you can show up to 9 sources at the same time on a single screen. You can do overlays, you can do tile, all these different kind of layouts in multi-view mode are supported. This receiver supports 4K resolution because you can show 1080p sources at the same time. Again, RS-232 is there, CC is there for display control, and audio de-embedding is available. So this was the 100 series. Now we have a 500 series, and this is really something special we released recently. Now we are able to put full HDMI 2.0 specifications over 1 gigabit network. So it's a 4K 60 8-bit 444 resolution. We also do a multi-channel audio pass-through, including Dolby Atmos and Dolby and DTS. And also we have an audio de-embedding analog and digital as well. Bandwidth can be configured, so if you need really high-end resolution, the bandwidth will go up to 850 megabytes. But if you need lower, if you don't use maximum from this box, you can lower that bandwidth. Latency is really low, up to 1 frame per second, so it's 16 milliseconds. Or if you do the scaling, then we need more time to do the scaling. So it goes up to 33 milliseconds, which I think it's really still really good. It's like 2 frames per second. PoE is available, secure encryption end-to-end for secure, for really security needed project, and so on. Video wall processing is there up to 16 by 16, where you can do also a bezel and gap correction. It depends on how thick is your screen frame. And fast switching speed. We increased switching speed up to 1 second in scalar mode. So this is really a game changer. I want to also to say that the unit also support ARC. So now this is the first AV over IP solution that has ARC built in. So now I can receive the audio return from my TV and send it back to a transmitter. So if I play some content on my TV, let's say a Netflix, I can send it back to a receiver, and from receiver I can send it back to transmitter and feed it into my AVR system. And lastly, we have our top of the range product. It's a NHD 600 series. It's operating on 10 gigabit network. However, with this, there is 0 compression. So it's full 4K 64 for 8 bits, and there is no any compression. What is really cool about this is that this is our first trans receiver. So now with this box, we are able to receive and transmit the signal at the same time. So now I can connect in single box. I can connect my TV for receiving from anywhere on the network. I can receive the signal, and I can also connect to this same box some source, and then send that from that single while I'm receiving to the sending signal to the TV. I can immediately also stream that content back. So because you have 10 gigabit in one direction and 10 gigabit in other direction. It's really fast switching and gen log processing modes. It's PoE plus, so no need additional power supply. USBs are there for keyboard mouse applications, video wall processing, multi-view, everything is there. For high quality, for a longer distance, there is also a fiber option. So you can, if you need to go up to 300 meters, there is a fiber option, and this fiber supports full USB 2.0 specifications. Because through fiber, we can just get that extra that we need for USB. And also we have a Dante version. So if you need the Dante audio, there is a separate SKU 610 where you can send the Dante separately on an isolated network. It's a separate, you can see there is a LAN Dante separate connector. So you can totally isolate your Dante audio streams. Now, all of these AV over IP solutions, these 3 different technologies, they share in common a single same processor. So rather you choose 100 or 500 or 600 series, you will still use a same processor, and you will still use same configuration process. So there is no difference on, it doesn't matter what series you use, you will always use same processor, and you will always use same configuration process. Now with this new Network HD CTL Pro, we made it much more easier, because now we have even additionally, we have a wizard, a 7-step wizard. So once you plug this controller, you will just connect to its web UI, and it will prompt you with a 7-step wizard, as you can see on the screen now. And you just follow these steps. So first you type the IP address of your AV port and the control port, because this box has totally isolated 2 network ports. And this is really good if you have a secure, if you want, like most of projects require that AV over IP are on isolated network. So you don't want to mess up with corporate network. So you have on one side your AV network. On the other side, you have your control port. You can connect up for third-party control system, Crestron, Extron, Control 4, you name it. So totally isolate these two. So once you start your wizard, you will basically define the IP address for your AV port, you define the IP address for control port, then you go to naming your endpoints. The unit, the processor will automatically discover all your transmitters and receivers on the network, and you give them a name, you give them an IP address, everything by following this wizard. Then you configure your video walls if you have any, you configure your multi-views and such on. Also, there is a configuration for Network HD Touch app, which I will cover in the next slide. And also you can configure the display control. So as you know, you can, because of so many different control ports on the box itself, IR, RS232, CEC, you can really easily control the TV. So inside this wizard, you can specify the RS232 commands or IR commands for that specific TV. So once you're done with this 7-step wizard, you're good to go. You don't have, you just click finish and your system is ready to start streaming. Now, when it comes to monitoring, there is also a really nice intuitive monitoring status monitoring tool, which is built into the controller. So now here I can see all my transmitters, receivers, what are their firmware version, IP address, are they sending any content, are they connected to any receiver? All these informations are really available here. And you can also do some adjustments here. So you can do like advanced settings, you can change EDID configuration, audio, audio path, and so on. When it comes to control, we have a free Network HD Touch application available for Android and iOS tablets. So this is application that doesn't require any programming. Once you're done with your 7-step wizard, you just connect this application to your CTL Pro, to the controller, and the application on the tablet will catch all the information from the processor. So basically, it will get all the transmitters, their name, all the receivers, all the video walls, everything will be inside the web, inside this graphical user interface on the application. And then you will just do like drag and drop, change the source, switch the sources, change the different layouts, different video wall. And also you can do TV control. You can press a button and turn off all the TVs that are in that area. So this app comes totally free and zero programming is needed. And the last thing I want to show you is the companion app. This is something that we released really recently. So why we needed this? So far with the Network HD Touch app, we were able, as you saw, we were able to switch the sources and we were able to control the display. However, the problem was we were never able to control the source itself. So I want to change maybe a channel. I want to control my on the Direct TV, or I want to control my Apple TV just to change what I'm seeing on it. So we never had that till now. Now we have a new companion app. It's a separate app that will basically talk to the controller, the CTL Pro, and it will send the IR commands directly to the controller, and controller will send it to the transmitter that is connected to the source. So you don't need any additional new hardware. It's just application that we made. You just follow a few steps. You discover your transmitters first. You specify what is connected to that transmitter. What source did I connect to the transmitter? Is it Direct TV or Sky Q or Apple TV, Roku? all these different layouts and different sources are built into the application. So no need for coding, no need for programming a layout. Everything is already there. So you'll do only two steps. First step, you will discover your transmitters. And the second step, you will say what is connected to those transmitters. And that's it. The app will configure itself, and you will be able to control the Apple TV, let's say, connected to the transmitter through the IR port. We're also working in adding some more features like audio control and LAN control for the sources. And with this, I think I covered everything. Now we can jump to the questions part. And also here you can see the QR codes that you can scan for our website and for our catalog app, where you can find all our products available.
Wow, thank you very much indeed. A lot of information, very well presented, and naturally quite a few questions as well. So I'm going to read through a couple of questions that we have here. We'll get through as many as we can in the 10 minutes, but as Zach says, you can scan these QR codes to get to the website and the catalog app if we run out of time, and you can find someone there who you can get in touch with. But yeah, let's jump into a couple of questions. So we have one here from Andrew. Are there visible macro blocking artifacts when presenting wirelessly?
I'm not sure. Can you read again?
Yeah.
Macro?
Are there visible macro blocking artifacts when presenting wirelessly? If it's not your sort of area of expertise, you can pass him on to someone.
Basically, when you're casting wirelessly, you're just sending the video content. And right now, I believe maybe this is related to that, but right now we don't do any encryption in that casting. I think it's native AirPlay and Miracast, and as how that work, that's how we use it. So it's a native pre-built feature from Apple and Android.
Fantastic. Okay, thank you very much. We have someone asking, does the dongle that you mentioned require any additional drivers?
No. So what you will do, you will just pair the dongle with the Apollo, and once you plug it to the laptop, you don't have to install anything. It will recognize it directly. You press a button on the dongle, it will start sharing.
Fantastic. Another question asking about the Apollo 100. The mic pickup range you mentioned is 7 meters. Is that the diameter or is that the radius?
It's a radius from the center.
Excellent. Wow, we're plowing through these questions nice and efficiently. That's fantastic. We have a question from Tay. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Tay asks, what is the most common mounting or installation setup?
So all the mounting brackets will come within the box. So for Apollo, there is nothing because you put it just on the table. But for the VX20 or VX10, you will see it comes together with the wings inside the box, so you can mount it either to put it on the top of the TV. We have also option for mounting behind the TV on the top of the TV, or directly to the wall. So it comes in the box.
So various options there. I hope that answers your question, Tate. Thank you very much indeed for sending it in. We have a question from Eva. How can unified communications and signal distribution be implemented in one application simultaneously?
How unified then?
How can unified communications and signal distribution be implemented in one application simultaneously?
Well, that's so basically with Apollo, you can, as we said, you can transmit the video. At the same time, you can get from the Apollo through USB, you can get the USB peripherals and use the speakerphone built in. So with these two, you will be able to transmit the audio and so in one box, you get two functionalities.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Eva. I hope that answers your question. We have a question here. We noticed in our installations that various meeting rooms require various technologies when it comes to UC setups. What key attributes of such systems should an integrator look for in a small to medium-sized conference space?
Well, I believe you need to make sure that you are covering all the possibilities when it comes to BYOD. So you need to be prepared for any option. If there are users coming from all around the world. So you will be surprised how many people are still using VGA, or how many people will come with some device that even doesn't have any port on itself. So when it comes to meeting rooms, I would say make sure that you have all different kind of connections, as we talked about: VGA, USB, USB-C, and wireless casting. And I think wireless casting is what it gets you covered, because whoever comes to you, it doesn't matter, does it have a Windows, Android, or iOS, he will be able still to present.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And just before we move to the next question, I want to say there are still a couple of questions coming in on the chat. So if you can just send them over to the Q&A box, which is just next to the chat box, then we can get them in here for you. So next question is from Daniel. What's the average cost in US dollars for the first example or package? That was sent at about 11:30. So hopefully you can remember what you were talking about at that point.
Yeah. So regarding the pricing, it depends on the options. That, as you said, the most basic one will be, of course, the most cost efficient. However, you will need to request the pricing from our sales department. Depends from what region of world you are coming, and that's why I can't say anything about the prices, because of the different regions in the world.
And so, can they use those QR codes on the screen there to
exactly.
to get in touch?
On our website, you can find different sales representative. Depends on where in the world you are, and you can get in touch with them. You will get all the pricing, not just for that product. You will get full pricing list from all our products.
Fantastic. And that goes for everyone. So anyone else on the call who's interested, scan those QR codes, find your local rep, and they can go into those details for you if you're interested. Thank you very much. And another question from Daniel, actually. Is the Zoom adapter specifically for Zoom, or is it like a Magwell HDMI Plus where you can use it for any soft video client like Teams, GoTo, BlueJeans?
So that was just example with Zoom Room PC. I'm not sure if Teams has something like that, but it should have, like, natively running computer that is running natively a Teams meeting room. So that was just example for Zoom. You can use any different PC with running natively Teams, and you will still be able to get exactly the same as we talked about.
Excellent. Thank you very much. We have Danny, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, asks, I see 12 volt and 24 volt DC inputs on the various units. Would we be able to battery back up these devices without forfeiting the warranty, as Danny is based in South Africa and they have power issues over there?
Good question. I don't think so. Because if you cut the power, the unit will reboot. But then if you move, if the batteries it can provide additional amps, I can say it can work. Yeah, as long as you provide 12 or 24 volts with proper amplifiers, I don't see why it shouldn't work.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Danny. I hope that answers your question. We have a couple of minutes left, so I'm going to squeeze in hopefully a couple more questions here. We have one from Valerie. APO-MIC-EXT, could you please explain details? Is it just direct Cat5 cable between EXT cables, or signal should go through Ethernet switch? Where can we find the instructions to set up?
So it's direct. So it's basically a 60-meter cable that you buy from us, and it's basically a converter. So from USB to a Cat converts. So then you can it doesn't go to a network switch. It's just let's say it's an extender. It has chips inside that convert the USB to a Ethernet connector. So it sends a signal up to 60 meters. And on the other end, you go from the CAT connector back to USB. All that you will get it when you buy this cable. So you don't need to buy anything extra. It doesn't have to go through any other hardware. It just goes from Apollo to a microphone using that extender cable.
Fantastic. Thank you very much indeed. We're almost out of time. I do see a lot of questions regarding specific updates and ETAs for certain firmware and things like that on various products. I would suggest that, as Zek has said as well, scan these QR codes and then find your regional rep, and then they will be able to answer those sort of specific detailed questions for you. But with a final question, Lorenzo, you get the final word with a quick one about just do the video bars support interoperability with Microsoft Teams?
We are not Teams certified. However, they will work.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. Well, as we've mentioned a few times, you can get in touch with WyreStorm beyond this webinar. If your question wasn't answered, then please do scan those QR codes, go and get in touch. But from me, it's yeah, I just want to say a huge thank you to Zek for being here today and presenting on a really interesting subject, some really cool innovations here, and also want to thank all of our attendees for the insightful questions. And yeah, for being here and supporting this webinar as well. So yeah, thank you very much indeed, Zek. And to everyone as well who wants to share this webinar or rewatch it, then you can do so at avixa.org/webinars. You can have a look at this and any other webinar that we've done, and you can watch again, re-reference, and of course, as always, get in touch with us, get in touch with WyreStorm if you have any further questions. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, Zek.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having time and be with me today.
Absolute pleasure. Thank you for presenting, and we will see you all on the next one. Goodbye.
Bye.